All right, welcome back to another video, guys. I know it's been a while since I've posted, but here I'm coming back with an 05 Toyota Tundra. Now, these arguably are one of the most reliable trucks on the road today. Everyone wants these. The resale value is out of this world, especially for vehicles with like this with over 200,000 miles, still selling for over 10 grand. This is gonna be a crazy video, and I'm ready to dig in. So let's break it down. Now, of course, everyone knows the predecessor of this vehicle, which was the T100. It had 3.4 liter V6 in it, and sure, it could tow 5,000 pounds, but it was not what Toyota wanted to deliver for their full-size truck. So then they decided to bring this baby into town, which is an absolute beautiful truck coming out for the time. And honestly, it's held up over the ages. Sure, it may look like, you know, an old Ford with its old headlight design and other aspects of the vehicle, but other than that, it's a pretty modern truck. You still have all the gauges for the oil pressure, temperature, the battery, and also the coolant temperature along with the fuel gauge. So you have pretty much modern features that other trucks would have. Also still have electronic locking doors and fully automatic windows, which is still really modern. Not to forget to mention the rolling back down window that it slides the whole plane glass. It's pretty neat. Toyota was really the one who kept up to that. And also electronic control in the mirrors. So it's really not that old. Now, a gauge that is lacking in the department is a transmission temperature sensor. But, you know, it was back in 05. We can't really complain. You have your obligatory manual AC, and you also have electronically controlled transfer case, which is seen as a benefit and also modern. Some vehicles to this day still have this method of switching into transmissions for two-wheel drive and four-wheel drive. Because let's be honest, nowadays people really do want to have this instead of this electronic bullcrap of all-wheel drive. They tend to break. You have to change all four tires at the same time because the speed sensor and all the other mechanics inside the vehicle and electronics run off the wear pattern of your tire in order to ensure you grip in very questionable situations. And you have old reliable body on frame vehicle, and as you can see, just looking at the frame, you may see some surface rust here to there, but this frame for being an 05 is in immaculate shape. There's no concerning rust spots or penetrating rust, matter of fact. All that surface rust that you can possibly see if you were to dig out every little spot, you could easily just get a wire brush it all down, put a rust treatment over it, and then paint it. It's not that hard. Also, look at this. Look at this. Better yet, takes 87 compared to these other four bangers like Chevy and all these other companies are releasing that are not going to be reliable down the road that take 93 octane because they turbocharge it and therefore induce more pressure into the cylinders, therefore needing more pressure and less detonation at lower compression in those cylinders with lower octane gas. And we can't mention this Toyota Tundra without talking about what is under the hood. The absolute famous 4.7 liter V8, which is known to absolutely last forever. Modern electronic fuel injection, which is not GDI, it is PFI, so it's port fuel injection. It sprays over the intake valves so you don't have carboned up valves like these newer ones that you will. They have a simple standard setup for spark plugs to where it's easily accessible. 10mm bolt, you take all those out, boom, replace spark plugs and ignition coils. As well on the same side to where you don't have to take the intake manifold off like some other vehicles. Now, there is a caveat to this engine, that it does indeed have a rubber timing belt, which you should replace every 60,000 miles. And you need to do this particularly because with an interference engine like this, whenever that timing belt breaks, the timing completely goes off. The pistons hit the valves, and then you say pretty much goodbye engine because you don't want to dump that much money into a car that would literally need a complete engine rebuild in order to fix that problem that would occur if your timing belt broke. But other than that, this vehicle, this engine is absolutely bulletproof. There is nothing that you could possibly buy that would be more dependable than this engine right here. This is known as the million-mile engine. And I know the question y'all are all asking right now, how much mileage does it have? Which to that, I'll respond and turn the key. It has just shy of 210,000 miles. That is insane. That is not insane for a Toyota Tundra, but comparing it to other cars, that is crazy mileage. That is crazy. This is the original engine, original transmission, and this is what the freaking engine sounds like with 210,000 miles. As you can see, guys, this is how it sounds after 210,000 miles. It doesn't even have the common intake manifold leak, which causes a ticking sound. This engine sounds just how it would coming out of the factory. This is extremely impressive. I am very profound and very loving of this typical engine that Toyota makes. I would not have any qualms driving this to California and back to North Carolina. Then you may ask, is this the most bulletproof engine with absolutely zero problems whatsoever? No. Let me tell you some common things that you should look for if you are trying to buy one of these. So sometimes these engines have a common ticking noise from the exhaust manifold, and I'm telling you, you do not want to work on that if this Tundra has that issue. It is a very expensive job just because the manifolds are so hard to reach and so hard to fix. Another thing you should be aware for is lower ball joints. These lower ball joints will go out and this tire will hit this fender and you will be receiving a hefty body repair bill. So don't do that to yourself. Make sure you jack up the car real quick and shake it from the top to bottom, side to side. Make sure you don't see an excessive plate anywhere. Just check for wheel bearings and lower ball joints at the same time while you go ahead and jack the vehicle up. You also can have a hair induction pump failure, and that is very common for these. It's semi-expensive to fix, but it's one of the things that I would look out for and would negotiate the price if it is out. So on these, also your oxygen sensor can fail, and just some of the ways that you would feel that is your fuel trims are completely out of whack. It will most likely throw a check engine light, but at the same time, some of them can still work and will not throw a check engine light. What you will usually receive a check engine light for is usually if the parameters are off by 20 to 25% of what the manufacturer recommends for the vehicle to be running at. So your ECU is very complex, and it also knows certain parameters that the manufacturer programs into the ECU to detect those issues for you. And usually you would have a check engine light. So just be aware of buying ones with check engine lights. And like I always say, bring a scan tool. Bring a basic $100 scan tool or take it to a mechanic and pay him $50 or something to analyze the vehicle for you. And the last, but if not least, they also are known for the strawberry milkshake. Please check your radiator and transmission fluid. Make sure it is not a pink strawberry milkshake. You would also notice transmission slipping if that did occur on the vehicle and they fixed it. So just be aware. Don't buy one with a messed up transmission. Just trust me. It's a lot of money out of your pocket, and you're already paying money for a highly inflated value vehicle because they are known for lasting forever, and they will as long as you take care of them. So that's basically all the main causes of concerns for this whole Toyota Tundra. And some things I want to tell you just to prolong the life of it. And also ask the previous owner this if you're planning to buy one, just to ensure that they've taken care of it. Okay, I'm gonna boil this down real quick. All right, let's check. All right, oil change. Ask them how often they did the oil change. Was it every 3,000 miles, 5,000 miles, 10,000 miles? I would preferably stay away from those who say, hey, it looked clean, I'm not gonna really change it. Or 10,000 mile intervals. I would not trust buying it from that person, because if that is the case, they are just careless for their machinery, and I wouldn't buy from them. All right, radiator fluid, coolant. Make sure to check that coolant. Make sure it's not a strawberry milkshake. And please change this based off what the bottle says when you change it, okay? Or 5 years or 100,000 miles, okay? That is the most basic warranty covering those coolants, or last life, whatever you want to call it, okay? Brake fluid, I would do it every 15,000 to 30,000 miles. Brake fluid's easy to change. It's very cheap. I wouldn't even stress about it, but you can ask them about that. Power steering fluid. Please make sure all the fluids on the vehicle are topped up and not low. Because if they are low, that means either the owner didn't really care to look or analyze their vehicle and didn't really put any care into maintenance and let it get low. And of course, make sure the fluid is clean, guys. I cannot stress that enough. Clean fluid and maintenance record history is probably the best thing you can have when looking at one of these vehicles, especially if they're asking for $10K for a vehicle over 200,000 miles. Be aware of that. So the interior of the vehicle is not bad for the age. Yes, sure, it's gonna have some rips. I mean, come on, it's leather now. What can you expect? But look at the dash. Nothing is cracked. Look around the vehicle. It looks very clean. I would recommend the owner to get some heavy duty floor mats considering he is a construction worker. But other than that, I mean, this interior is in pretty good shape. So the owner just informed me, and also on the looking side of things, it does have a little fabric issue over there. But other than that, I mean, cosmetically, the vehicle's in pretty decent shape. But again, think about it. You guys are not watching this vehicle to see if an interior is kept clean. You're here to talk about the stuff that actually matters of a car. The stuff that will get you to point A to point B, which really the two main cause factors is the engine and the transmission. Make sure they are in great shape. If they are in great shape and the previous customer took great care of the car, I mean, you really can't go wrong with these. And I know that people ask absurd amounts for these vehicles, but trust me, they're worth it. They last. They are built very strong, and like a lot of people say, Toyota overbuilt these engines in the early 2000s because it was their first real big jump into the full-size truck market. And they did a great job. So, like I said in the past video, guys, my upload schedule should be a little bit better now, and I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If there is any other questions or concerns for this truck, or any other questions that you just want to have in general, just put it in the comment section below and I will answer it as soon as possible. And please check my Instagram link out too, mycarznvp, and I hope you guys have an amazing day, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.